It doesn't matter if you're ready, they'll be ready.
Take time. Call to order the Claremore, sorry, I can speak tonight. Claremore Cultural Development Authority meeting. Sarah, please call the roll.
Cottam. Here. Bellman.
Here.
Michael. Callender.
Here.
Long.
Here.
Esley. Colby. Here. McSpadden.
Here.
Irwin. Here.
If you all would stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by invocation by Mr. Josh Feldman.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, thank you for the time, the resources that you've given us, and I pray that we would administer them with the respect that is our.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Do we have anybody on call to the public?
None.
Motion to accept the agenda is printed.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Bellman.
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Irwin. Yes. Cottam.
Yes.
Callender.
Yes.
Long.
Yes. Any items unforeseen?
None.
We have a motion to accept the consent items as printed.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Bellman.
Yes.
Cottam. Callender.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn is second. Call the roll.
Callender.
Yes.
Bellman.
Yes.
Cottam.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes.
Call to order the Claremore Public Works Authority. Note the roll. Do we have a motion to accept the agenda as printed?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion is second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Colby.
Yes.
Bellman.
Yes.
Cottam.
Yes.
Callender.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes.
Any items unforeseen?
None.
Under current business, do we have a motion to approve the consent items as printed?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion is second. Any discussion?
No, but Garrett's expensive.
Yeah, Gary.
He's going to save us
He's
some
gonna
money on the
save
next
us on here if we
agenda.
We have a motion is second.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Other than Garrett costing us a lot of money? Call the roll.
Bellman.
Yes.
Cottam.
Yes.
Callender.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Irwin. Yes.
We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion in 2 seconds. Call the roll.
Bellman.
Yes.
Cottam.
Yes.
Callender.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes.
Call to order the Claremore City Council meeting. Note the roll. Do we have a motion to accept the agenda as printed?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Bellman.
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes.
Cottam.
Yes.
Callender.
Yes.
Long.
Yes. Any items unforeseen?
None.
Mayor's report. I appreciate the women chiming in tonight. The only thing I really have to say is I'm looking forward to Thursday. I think I said that last time, didn't I? If I didn't, I'm saying it now. I'm looking forward to Thursday and the good things that will should come from that, I hope. Under awards and presentations, Mr. Manager.
None.
None? Staff reports, Mr. Manager.
Very quickly, Madam Mayor, members of the council, a couple of things. Substation 3 has been moved up in the overhaul schedule. They had an opening in their schedule, so they mobilized this week. So we were thinking it would be March or April, and then we'd have to wait until the fall to get the last one done, but it looks like we're going to get them knocked out. The weather is conducive. So if you'll recall, we did Substation 4 in 2021, Substation 1 just this last fall, and had no issues. So Substation 3 is the one in the industrial park. They'll be switching load over. They've been doing that today. That basically facilitates the industrial park and going east and start that process. So looking forward to that, which means hopefully we get back to our Boogaboo Substation 2 here in early spring or May, somewhere where the weather's conducive. On that, real quick, CEC did finally get back. That was one of the task orders to figure out 2 is the problem child. Now, keep in mind, we entered into these contracts and wanted to fix them a year and a half ago. However, this last summer, it was a problem. Well, fortunately, CEC has already completed their assessment of that on the load transfer and how we need to balance that out. Good news, bad news, spent a lot of money to find out what it was. Good news is not a lot of money to correct it. Doesn't mean that we don't need capacity there, but the switching and some things that we can do to balance that load out, we can do on the existing grid without, so Todd's crews can work with GRDA and get that done, and we're really excited about that. So hopefully that will help eliminate some of the challenges that we've had. We've had 0 problems with 4 and 1 since the overhaul, so we're hoping that the same goes for that. I got caught up talking to a citizen this evening right before I came in here. I meant to email you all the latest quarterly report. You'll have it later tonight after the meeting. It will also be pushed out and onto the website, the city manager's page. Something to take from that, the amount of work that we are and continue to do with infrastructure. I encourage all of our citizens to look at the quarterly report. It's about 37 pages long, and it's full of everything that we do in every department in the city. The vast majority of it is public infrastructure, engineering, capital projects, the money and time that you all are allowing us to invest in bettering the bones of the community. So take a look at that. Reminder, this Saturday evening is the Gridiron, hosted by the Chamber. Get your tickets. I'm sure we'll be made fun of, but that's part of it. This marks second or third meeting, so you all know that we are transitioning right now. So Tim is now live streaming our meetings both on Facebook Live and YouTube. We will eventually be on a YouTube platform only. More users have access, easier to do, and things of that nature. So those of you at home that watch, you'll be able to find our YouTube channel. Is that accurate, Tim? Or
Yeah.
okay. As the mayor mentioned, Thursday, the retreat, noon to 5-ish. It's a working lunch. Sarah's arranged for lunch to be there, so if you all could please get there a little early, we could start right on time to get through the day. And the last thing is, I want everybody to please put on their calendar, if Sarah hasn't already beat you up, Thursday, February 22nd is the annual State of the City address that the Chamber hosts. We will be acquiring, I'm sure, several tables. We would love to have a strong council contingent there. Please let Sarah or Lisa in the clerk's office know. And that is all I have, Madam Mayor.
Mr. Manager, I have one question
Mhm.
to update the council and those watching. The SCADA system.
SCADA system is still in the process of being installed. They were here last week. They did some stuff with Tim internally on IT and servers, and they've been in the field physically. I think we'll be up and going and fully monitored and modernized on that here within the next, maybe this week. Garrett, I'm looking, week to 10 days. So, yes, for the first time, we will be able to remotely monitor our substations. As I said in staff meeting, this is revolutionary
That's a good
technology
thing.
that's only been around since the 70s. That we have decided to finally implement here. So, very thankful for Todd and his crew, Garrett for helping out. Tim spent some time last year getting fiber to all the substations, so the communications, as well as we got security cameras up there. So, again, those little things that we ought to be investing in to major infrastructure. So,
Thank you.
yep.
Staff reports, right. Current business, do we have a motion to accept the consent items as printed?
So moved. Second.
We have motion and second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Feldman,
Yes.
Irwin,
Yes.
Cottom,
Yes.
Callender,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Colby,
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Discussion and possible action on change order request number 1 for fiscal year 22-23 street repair project for a deduct, nice, amount of $324,540.44. Mr. Garrett.
Thank you, Mrs. Mayor and Council. Just want to give you kind of a quick review of this project. So this is the second big major street project that we've done since we had MKEC put together our pavement maintenance plan. The first year we went through and we did like 3 different projects, but they were smaller projects. This this fiscal year project, or last fiscal year project that we're finishing up here, it was all asphalt, street, mill and overlay, rehab. So we done it all as one project. These are the streets that we were able to get to this year. Tim, if you want to, go ahead and go through the slides right quick. So this ended up being around a $2.5 million project. We improved about 4.6 miles of streets, and the schedule was roughly 9 months. Some of the neighborhoods that we were able to get to, this is the West Side Edition, west of the Expo. That neighborhood, one of the folks that lives out there, he said that it had been at least 40 years since those streets had been touched, so quite an improvement to their neighborhood as a whole. Blue Star Clubhouse, that street was in.
Did they stop you to tell you that, or did they?
He actually did when we were doing the surveying for the project. He said he was actually wanting us to fix a pothole out there. And he said, "Really? You're going to fix the street?"
He said, "We don't fix potholes, we only fix whole streets."
Yeah.
That's what people think.
That's cute.
Blue Star and J, we were able to fix that really bad intersection there with that. And then did a mill and overlay of J going there. The rough street there, Muskogee Place at the hospital. Sue and Lowry, they were getting really bad. Kind of something to note on these projects too. The pavement maintenance plan, that only looked at the surface of the street, but when we went through these so far, we've not only looked at the street, but we've tried to address the drainage as best we can. So that leads to the longevity of the pavement and the safety of the street as well. So with that, project is complete. We're working on the next fiscal year project. Probably going to focus on all concrete streets. A lot of work will be done in the Westwood neighborhood and on this side of town. Florence is going to be a big focus too. So we'll see how much money we got to work with and see how far we can get on that. So should be another productive year. The change order was for a deduct amount of $324,540, and that's just basically reconciliation of the final quantities. We always try to build in some extra on some of the big items like asphalt and ag base, those type of things, and we came out pretty well on this project, so we'll have some more money to put toward it.
It's nice to have the pictures, thanks.
I think if I could, Garrett, real quick, it's important to remember that a lot of folks focus on the streets. Well, we can go out all day long and throw some asphalt down or a skim coat on top of the streets, but the biggest thing that degrades our streets is that stormwater stuff. It either hasn't properly been built 40, 50, 30 years ago, whatever, or over time, as we just continue to pile layer upon layer of asphalt over, we're not addressing those drainage issues. And so Garrett's team has done a yeoman's job of not only dealing with the pavement repair project part of it, but looking at those things that will help extend these roads now that they're being constructed or reconstructed properly with drainage in account. So, we had a lot of issues right after this last freeze thaw and the rain, people complaining about potholes. It's literally 24 hours can make a pothole 5 times the size it is. I mean, that's just how it is in that type of weather. The expansion, the contraction, trucks going over it, all those other things, and the movement, so they get really bad really fast. Archer and just on the other side of the railroad tracks, private development came in, bought some things right off, re-concreted their parking and driveway and took away an old beaver slide that dealt with the drainage into the bar ditch. That's what created that problem and that issue on that. Now, they didn't do things the right way, they didn't come to us, and it was done, and after the fact, so now we're having to go in to address that properly. We gotta cut all that out, including some of their approach, and put back what was there. That's the importance, and we stay on top of that stuff. We normally catch it. Sometimes things slip by, but that's why people do stuff on their own property that cause problems on the taxpayers' property. So we try to catch those things, but his team's doing a great job. MKC's doing a great job. We'll start here in the next couple of years, doing a reevaluation of the next 5 years. We'll never get to all of the streets in 5 years, but we at least know their current condition, their grading, and we'll get them updated. And those are the benchmarks we use to determine what's next. How long can we stretch the dollars that we have? How long can we prolong that life? Knowing full well there are streets that need to be fully redone, that's not part of this annual street repair pavement maintenance project.
Like Blue Star.
Those are big, giant, yeah. And there's parts of Blue Star that can be redone, but that doesn't widen and all that other stuff. So
Yeah.
great job on this and the oversight.
Take back all the bad things I said about you.
Well, he's going to spend that money.
We'll find a place for it.
Yeah, we'll.
We take
Motion.
66 now.
I
Yeah.
wish.
Motion to approve the change order request.
Second.
Motion is second. Any other discussion?
Wish they'd give us the.
Call the roll.
Irwin,
Yes.
Calendar,
Yes.
Potta,
Yes.
Spellman,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Bowlby,
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Thank you, Jared. Discussion and possible action for a public hearing for comments related to the City of Claremore's Community Development Block Grant as printed.
Motion to go into public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion is second. Call the roll.
Calendar,
Yes.
McSpadden,
Yes.
Irwin,
Yes.
Potta, Spellman,
Yes.
Long,
Yes. Bowlby.
Yes.
Mr. Nychie.
Madam Mayor, Council, Mr. Fury, thank you. We have come a long way on this COVID stuff. I'm glad that it's finally over. It was good in the sense that I got to work with a bunch of different partners within the community, and we got to work very closely in developing 4, I think, outstanding programs that really benefited our citizens. I'll just give a quick report before we give an opportunity for the public to give their comments on it. So we started this all with a plan with Grand Lake Mental Health. They were buying iPads and data plans for their children and for police officers to deal with any kind of mental health emergency during the time when quarantine was in effect and the schools were closed and those things. But the police officers were able to keep those iPads, and so anytime there's a mental health issue that they come across, they have real-time access to therapists, and they can pass that iPad off to somebody who's in crisis and deal with the de-escalation rather than have it go any further than it needs to go. So that's a very positive thing for our community. We served 277 youth and police officers, and that's full data plans and full iPads, and they're still in place now. Then we stood up a utility assistance program here at the city. We understood that some people were struggling with their daily needs, with the bills that they had coming on. A lot of people were home from work, working at home, and couldn't afford to make their payments. In that department, the team here, we assisted 694 people. These are our own citizens, so these are Claremore citizens, and that helped greatly with those folks to help ease some of the burden. We also partnered with ONG, Oklahoma Natural Gas, because that was another utility service that I think people were having a hard time catching up with on some of these, again, out of work and not being able to, or out of school. We were able to help 100 people with ONG. And then we had the workforce development plan that we were partnered with CETA on. CETA created a great program, and Caitlin will speak to that when her time is up. Overall, we have expended or obligated $530,000, and that helped directly, just on the city's part, not on CETA's part, directly over 1,000 of our citizens benefited from that money. I mean, none of the money stayed here at the city, it all went to our citizens. And so now we're here to finalize the program, close it out, and comply with the federal grant mandate.
Thank you. So,
Anybody from the public?
yeah. Do we have anybody from the public that would like to speak or ask questions? Anybody from the council?
very impressed with how you all came up with the ways to spend this money. I think it had perfect impact for while we were going through the time, so great job administering those funds.
Thank you.
I will tell you that I think the program that Caitlin and Maggie and the staff over there developed, use of the funds for training and workforce, should be a model
Right.
for communities moving forward. It was innovative, and nobody else has done anything like it, and they've done an outstanding job, Caitlin. I mean, you've impacted lots of people.
The Department of Commerce is extremely happy.
Yeah.
We are working with them. Andy's in contact with them to try to release even more funding for that program. Because Commerce is going to have some money left over for this whole grant process. And if we can steer it toward workforce development, I know Caitlin's got the people, she can definitely fill that or spend that money. Yeah.
And thank you, Andrew and Andy, because this was like changing the flat on a car while it was driving. I mean, nobody knew. It was just, here's a bunch of it. So you guys have done a great job of keeping us in compliance and utilizing the money appropriate. It was going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
None of us wanted it printed, and but it was going to, so we utilized it the best way I think we could have.
Thank you, sir.
If there's any time that maybe some of these people that benefited could talk sometime with, I'd love to hear like how it's, affected them. Like some of the workforce, and
Yeah, sure.
just going forward, like it would be awesome.
I know that one of the things that we didn't know, I don't want to steal Caitlin's thunder. So she's
What
going to
Caitlin
speak
have
on
to
some
do?
of that stuff.
have
Yeah, she has an update on that.
Okay. So I'm already
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do we have a motion to close out the public hearing?
So moved.
Close it.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Oh, thank you. I didn't formally hear second. Josh. Oh, Brian and Josh. So motion is second. Any other discussion? Call the roll.
Calendar,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Cottom. Yes. Long,
Yes.
Colby,
Yes.
Weeks Batten,
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes.
Discussion and possible action on resolution number 2024-01, authorizing the mayor and staff to sign closeout documents related to the City of Claremore's Community Development Block Grant as printed.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Is there anything you need to say, Mr. Nochi,
No.
on this one?
No.
Okay. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Weeks Batten,
Yes.
Cottom. Yes. Bowman,
Yes.
Calendar,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Colby,
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes.
Item number 5, discussion and possible action on resolution number 2024-02, requesting an extension of the contract with Oklahoma Department of Commerce for the Coronavirus Response Community Development Block Grant as printed.
Motion to approve. Second.
And a motion to approve in second. Now we would like to hear.
Yeah. Before I introduce Caitlin, real quick, I will say that this might be a little confusing to you all because you just did a closeout resolution. The reason we're doing the contract extension is because we still have some administrative stuff that we have to do in order to satisfy the grant. But I'll turn it over to Caitlin so she can talk about the workforce development, unless you have any more questions for myself or Andy. Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Mr. Archie.
I think she's got that.
Okay.
My name is Caitlin Ngari, and I serve in Workforce and Talent Development for Claremore Economic Development. As some of you may recall, 1 year ago, in January, this body approved a new workforce program designed to provide training opportunities to residents of the city of Claremore and Rogers County through our local technical school, Northeast Tech. Now, 1 year later, we're prepared to close out that same scholarship, having exhausted all funds that were available. Countywide, we have awarded 107 scholarships in total. For the purpose of this presentation, I'll highlight data only pertaining to the city's funding side. We've closed out the scholarship with 45 students that are actively enrolled or have completed their training programs and awarded $71,827 in scholarships to City of Claremore residents. This is the age distribution of the scholarship recipients. One trend that was consistent with both the city and county recipients was the uptick between the ages of 19 and 25 and 36 to 40, which is the 5 years after high school as well as we determined that the 36 to 40 was when parents were prepared to pursue further education or upskilling opportunities or advance their careers as their children were now in high school or recently graduated. Here you can see a race ethnicity breakdown for the program by percentage. From this, we saw an increase in every minority group's participation in proportion to the city and the county's minority population percentages. For example, Rogers County's population is 13% Native American, and the scholarship had 17.8% Native American. Let me go to the next slide. This slide captures the level of educational attainment that our scholarship recipients had prior to this training opportunity. One of our goals was to increase the educational attainment for our residents within this program. In line with the statistics, we were able to move the educational attainment of 31 of the 45 individuals beyond their previous level. In addition, the 26.7% that completed some college will now have achieved full completion of a program, making them better prepared and suited for the workforce as well. On this slide, we broke out the approved trainings by industry sector. Roughly 53% chose training in the healthcare field, 29% in manufacturing, and 9% in construction and mechanical repair. We expected to find many individuals looking for training opportunities to enter into the workforce, and while for some that is true, we also found an untapped population of individuals who were already in the workforce and desperately needed to upskilling opportunities to exit out of entry-level positions and enter into skilled and semi-skilled positions. And then here you can see the gender ratios of the program as well as the low to moderate income percentages. With the funding that we received, we were only required to have 51% of the recipients be low to moderate income. However, 100% of the city scholarship recipients qualified as low to moderate income based on their household income and size. 91% of those were classified as very low income. And then this list shows the training programs the individuals completed. This program has served as a pilot to gauge the demand for upskilling opportunities in our region, as well as the receptiveness of our community and educational partners. As a result, we've been able to share our best practices presentations with a number of technical schools, economic development, and workforce development organizations across the state. As the program truly has the potential to address necessary skills gaps that we face today, but also to prepare our community for others we'll face in the future. With that, we are proud to announce that Northeast Tech has nominated our organization to the Oklahoma Association of Career and Technology Education as their 2024 Partner in Progress. With strong partners like the city, the county, and Northeast Tech with their willingness to walk scholarship applicants step by step through the process with us, or walk scholarship recipients through the process with us, and create additional and customized training for our recipients, we could not have been able to coordinate a more efficient program. On behalf of Claremore Economic Development, we'd like to thank each of you of these partnering organizations for providing us the opportunity to invest in the future of our residents.
That is economic development.
Yes.
Great job. Great job.
Amazing.
That was a win-win.
I'm just curious, in the medical field, what was the majority of them? Do you know what they went into?
Flip back to
Well, I know
the
the
programs list.
Like, so,
A lot of them, it was either CNA or phlebotomy. We did have medication aid and LPN, but there are prerequisites to doing those programs. So like LPN, you had to, or CMA, you had to have been a CNA for 6 months before you could advance into that. And so those entry-level healthcare roles were what we saw the most of, phlebotomy and CNA.
A couple of questions, Caitlin. Fantastic job. I'm so impressed with everything you all do, especially on this one. Under industry distribution, what is barriers to employment?
So we had a number of individuals, particularly high school students who were interested in working at, for example, childcare facilities, like one in Chelsea.
Okay.
And they did not have the driver's license they needed to transport themselves there. And so we paid for driver's ed classes because that was their barrier to employment. They already had the childcare training that they needed, but they just needed the driver's ed piece to be
Fantastic.
allowed to do that.
Second question is, do you have any idea how many of the participants were parents?
I don't know.
That's all right, I was just wondering.
I think I would, we had parents calling and talking to economic development and thanking and crying. We had people apply, their proof of income was a utility cutoff notice. This program literally changed people's lives and improved their position for jobs. This is what we do in economics. That's why I got into it before you guys were burdened with me. I cannot tell you how proud I am of this program and how Caitlin has fostered it. It's just been amazing to see the transition in people. We've got employees at the city that utilize some of this. It's been awesome.
Well, I wish I could tell each and every person's story, but there have been a number that have been impactful. We had one student who wanted to do daytime CNC machining training, and because that training is so expensive and they would never have an opportunity to do that again, they were willing to quit their position that they were working in so that they could take that training and make themselves financially capable in the future. And so that's where Northeast Tech and I partnered to coordinate customized training. We told them, don't quit your job. We'll change the class time. And so we arranged some short-term afternoon classes and things like that. So Northeast Tech was really responsive to that, and we were able to assist these people in ways that advance them forward without them having to take a step back before they
The amount of people that get impacted by this, like what you said, it changes lives. It's not just the student, it's their families and it's their future.
Cycles, yeah.
It's really good.
Thank you.
All right, we already have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? Call the roll.
Callender,
Yes.
Spellman,
Yes.
Cottom. Yes. Long,
Yes.
Colby,
Yes.
McSpadden,
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes. Item number 6, discussion and possible action on enforcement of the 2024 Tulsa Regional Chamber Legislative Agenda. Mr. Manager.
Endorsement. I think you said enforcement. Whoa, that's not how we roll. We don't operate like that.
Sorry, retract that.
No, I just, many of you may or may not know, I think this first started about 2010, maybe 09. The Tulsa Regional Chamber started a regional legislative advocacy program. They called it the Regional One Voice Agenda. It has evolved over time, but there's always a state agenda or priorities, and there's a federal agenda and priorities. And it consists of municipal partners, education, but it's a Chamber of Commerce driven thing, so it's primarily the business sector. There have been many things over the years that the task force and that the agenda has helped. They've always put a big onerous on the legislature, both federally and the state level, on infrastructure. It's how I got involved years ago when I was operating in another community. I've chaired several of these task force. Most of it's endorsed by, I don't know, a few hundred, I think, organizations. Claremore Economic Development has done it already. Look, I'm going to tell you, we don't agree with everything in these agendas, but it's nice to have a regional voice. So when you walk into the Capitol, or when you walk in and talk to one of our federal delegates about something that's important to Claremore, whether it's infrastructure or trains or something, they're going with the voice of a regional approach. And so you'll see things on the state priority list, support film industry. I'm not going to read it because there's several, but it's available. It's in your packet. It's online. Support Department of Tourism's promotional fund as we come into 2026 and the centennial. Connect and broaden the region's industrial and logistics ecosystems. Infrastructure is always a big emphasis on there. Of course, there's always education. There's some housing laws. Modernizing the Open Meetings Act. What we found through COVID is that, hey, you can actually conduct business with some virtual capabilities. And over the years, the OPA, the Oklahoma Press Association, others around the state other states were kind of adamant against that, and then they realized, oh, this is probably more transparent because everybody has access to it, we can all see it. So there's some things there that the state would like to do: children's mental health, support for working families, healthcare, The federal priorities are always interesting: accelerate permitting for domestic energy, support business, new federal cybersecurity provisions, maximize domestic energy security, designate Route 66 as a dedicated National Historic Trail, historic tax credits, Indian land tax credits, infrastructure, the McClellan Kerr navigation system, big part of what we do and our partners use. It needs to be dredged and widened. The Tulsa levee system, complete 412 is a U.S. designation and corridor improvements. So all sorts of things on here. We just basically get thrown on a list with several hundred other organizations. But it's nice to go down there as kind of one big group and go, these are the things that are important to Northeast Oklahoma. And like I said, rising tide raises all ships. So we would recommend approval or endorsement of the One Voice agenda.
Motion to endorse.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? Call the roll.
Calendar.
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes.
Cottam.
Yes.
Spellman.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion to adjourn, a second. Call the roll.
Calendar.
Yes.
Cottam.
Yes.
Spellman.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
McSpadden.
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes.
See you Thursday.